My name's Ben and this is Readysetink, and today we're talking about all of the steel cards from Azurite. That's Disney Lorcana's set 6, and we're excited for it. A couple things right off the bat. 2 Kakamoras, 2 Mr. Smees, that's what we like to see. We're going to talk about all these cards, all 34 new steel cards that we got, because we want to know what they do. We want to know their abilities. We want to know any commonly asked questions about them. If you know what I'm talking about, here we go. Starting off with the 1-drop Kakamora, the long-range special. 0-2. That's all right. That's not bad for a 1-cost card. Maybe a 1-2-2 would be better. Its ability probably better be good. When you play as a character, if you have another pirate character in play, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character or location. That's pretty sick. I like it. And it's useful even later in the game. But you want to have a pirate character down first. You could pair this with like a Captain Hook or something, like the 1-drop Forceful Duelist. It works. It's not bad. This is Kakamora is not a Floodborn. So you can't shift it on the other Kakamora, which is not the best deal because it's a 7-cost uninkable card. There's not a lot of utility in steel for more uninkable cards. You don't want to play lots of uninkables in steel because you're trying to not like ink a bunch. You're trying to get to like 5 ink and stop really. And this one's like, come on, go to 7 ink. This is Kakamora, the Pirate Chief. He's got the Pirate and the Captain ability for the 4/6 stat line, the best stat line in all of Lorcana. It's got 2 lore, and then the ability better be a good ability. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card. And then choose and discard a card to deal 1 damage to chosen character or location. If you discarded a pirate character card, deal 3 damage instead. So you can do huge damage. And if you pair this with the Huntsman, I think it is. Alright, so not the Huntsman. The Huntsman says whenever this character quests, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. Here he is. This is who we're thinking about. The Sheriff of Nottingham, Corrupt Official from End of the Inklings. Whenever you discard a card, you may deal 1 damage to chosen opposing characters. So pair that with Kakamora. You're going to discard a card and do a damage 3 if it's a pirate card. So anytime you discard a card, you do a damage. So you could do up to 4 damage if you have the Wombo combo. But this is a 4-cost unequal. This is a 7-cost unequal. That's a whole lot of unequals just to do a little bit of a Wombo combo. But there it is. If you want to do even more damage by discarding cards, you can do it. We like it. It's not the worst. And if you quest this thing while at the Bayou says whenever you quest while here, we'll just pull it up. Bayou says whenever a character quests while here, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. So you could do probably up to 5 damage with this card and Sheriff of Nottingham on board. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card to do 1 damage to chosen character or location. The or location is pretty cool. Doing the damage to a location, don't mind if I do. If you discarded a pirate character, deal 3 damage. So like Kakamora isn't going to proc again for the Bayou. It's not going to be able to do the damage for the Bayou. But if you have the Sheriff of Nottingham down, that trigger will. But this just like, it just stacks more, if you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it does it good at all, but it's a thing to think about. Jim Hawkins, the Stubborn Cavern Boy, it's a 0/4, but he has Challenger 2 whenever you put a card into your inkwell. If you put 2 cards in your inkwell, that's Challenger 4. If you put 3 cards in your inkwell, that's Challenger 6. And we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Oh, we're just going literally to the next card. It says this character can't be challenged by characters with 2 strength or greater. This character has 0 strength, but when he's challenging, he gets the challenger if you've inked the card. So no matter what, even if Jim has like a 6 challenger, he can take out Mr. Big because his starting strength is 0. And that's when the check for the challenge on Mr. Big's ability goes through. So that's Jim. Super useful. And Jim is also a great shift target for this new Jim that we got. Where's new Jim? There's new Jim, the rigging specialist. But we'll talk about him a little bit later in this video. For now, we just want to say the 2 cost, 0/4, Jim Stubborn Cabin Boy. Pretty good. Not bad. This is Mr. Big, and we just talked about Mr. Big, but now we're talking about him again. He's a 4-cost unequal, but he's kind of worth it because he can quest for 3. That's a whole lot of lore. Kakamora over here only questing for 2, and you're paying 3 more ink to do it, but his ability is so sick. If your characters If your opponent is playing bigger characters of all 2 strength or more, if your opponent doesn't have any 0 or 1 cost characters, they're going to have to use a removal spell to get Mr. Big. And they probably have some removal spells to get him. But if not, Mr. Big can just sit there questing away. It says this character can't be challenged by characters with 2 strength or greater. You done me a great service. I like it a lot. This guy, he's what's up. He has a whole bunch of polar bears working for him, if you know what I'm saying. We missed one flavor text over here. Let's read it. They are very good about making trouble, says Maui. Huh, interesting. The Mr. Smee, the Storyborn Ally Pirate. Does any of these others have? Jim was only here. This is only Storyborn. Down to the Mr. Smee. That looks like Skull Rock back there. Storyborn Ally Pirate. The 3/2 stat line, pretty good. And then during your turn, this character gains evasive. Not too bad. This can take out the Diablos. I say that about probably everything with evasive on it, but it's true. And Mr. Smee got a Floodborn version this time. Bum, bum, bum. You can shift it for 4. Pretty good. And he gets the Captain keyword. He did it. Now he's Captain of the Jolly Roger. What happened to Captain Hook? I don't know. Raise the colors. When you play this character, you may deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of other pirate characters you have in play. It sounds like they're doing a mutiny, if you know what I'm saying. But Mr. Smee could do lots of damage to chosen character equal. So you only get to do it to 1 character. So it's kind of like Tinkerbell, has a little bit more willpower, less strength than Tinkerbell, and is unequal. Tinkerbell is just so much of a better card to play. Why would you ever play this card over Tinkerbell? I may never know, especially when you can shift Tinkerbell for the same amount. This is the seasoned shipmate, the Storyborn Ally Pirate. Huge body, 6'4", huge damage, and a little bit of sustainability whenever you have a character named Mr. Smee in play. This character gains resist +1. So if you have a Mr. Smee, Captain Hooked like the word with ya. He's talking to Tinkerbell, and then he becomes the captain? Interesting. And Mullins gets a resist when he's working with Mr. Smee? Even more interesting. This is huge. If you have a Mr. Smee on play, either the 2-drop, this is also a 2-drop, or the 6-drop. I'm talking about the 2-drop from Into the Inklands. That's the more popular one. That's really good. You get a resist with Mullins. Overall, not bad. That's what a 5 cost should be. A 6/4 with resist 1. That's pretty good. It's not the best, and that's why he's a common card. Anything for you, Mr. Smee, except me share o' the plunder. His shoes are too shiny, and this must be Mr. Smee's silhouette, and he's looking awfully menacing. And what are they looking at in the background? Nothing, just more water. No clues there. This is Kohut, as far as I can tell. He's a trusted Marine. Ma'am, I am highly trained instrument of tactical superiority. Maybe we could find someone else for the grunt work, ma'am. He's got 2 little red buttons on his thing. What's it say on his? Big Blue. Interesting. There's no scary aliens running after him like they are in the red card. But that's not him in the red card. It's Markowski. There's a big bug running after him. Different guy. Markowski. What did I say? Karkowski? Howski? Markowski. And Kohut was who we were just talking about, yeah? That's Kohut, 2/3. Kind of alright, but also very, very vanilla. King Hubert, also very, very vanilla, but he has the king word, and the king word can work at stuff like Prying Lands. The mentor word also works in one other thing that I forget what happens. It's Philip's father, King Philip's father. Here I was thinking it was Merida's dad. I say that about every old guy with a goblet. I told you we'd find an island eventually. Excellent navigating. Yes, yes, I am quite proud. Now, a toast to our success. Pretty good deal. I like King Hubert. 3/4 body. Not the best. I'll be honest. Overall, pretty underwhelming lot, except for Jim, Mr. Big. I think those have been pretty good. This is an underwhelming lot. Hercules, the 2/4, but a 4/4 when he's challenging into stuff. He's got 2 Snarfblats that he can go get. The Hero Prince. Good deal. The maze wasn't so bad. Let's see what the island has in store for us. And let's look like he's holding the same sword that The Stitch is holding, and My Girl Darling's holding. You know what I'm saying? This is John Silver, and if you didn't know, he has a whole bunch of different attachments for his arm because he's a cyborg, but he doesn't have a cyborg keyword. He has the Storyborn Villain Alien Pirate Captain keyword, 3/3 body. That's okay. You can play him. You can even shift him into the new John Silver, and it says when you play this character, chosen character can't challenge during their next turn. So you could keep your aggro character safe. You can keep somebody safe, if you know what I'm saying. Mr. Arrow is here, the Legacy's first mate. This is Captain Amelia's first mate, if you know what I'm saying. And the 1/2 stat line with a resist 1, which basically puts him to a 1/3 stat line, but a little bit better. He quests for 2. You can get a whole lot of lore out of this guy. Can you get more lore with him than you can with Smee? The choice is up to you. Probably not. We're holding steady, Captain, despite this wind and these waves. This is the new Jim Hawkins Floodborn that we were just talking about. The 5/5 body, pretty good to go. Shift for 3, don't mind if I do. When you play this character, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character or location. It's just once. It's just one time when you play this character. Other than that, you got kind of a big body. Would you rather play this or a Tinkerbell Giant Fairy? I'll leave that question up to you. The Tuk Tuk is huge. This is what Mullins wants to be. That's 6/5 for 5 cost, and look at all this flavor text. Raya says nothing gets past Tuk Tuk. Nothing, Sisu says, except butterflies. Oh, and birds. And then Raya says, fine, most things don't get past Tuk Tuk. I like it. That's a good Tuk Tuk. Overall, all of Tuk Tuk cards have been not the best. There is one good red card that lets you move him and another character to a location. That's the best Tuk Tuk card. This one is a Billy Bones, the Space Sailor. That's right. Billy Bones got 2 Disney Lorcana cards, and he dies in like the first 8 minutes of Treasure Planet. That is crazy. He's a 2/2 character, but you're not playing him for that. You're playing him for his bait. Like, he is bait, truly. 2/2, and then it says when this character is banished, you may banish chosen item or location. This character is going to be banished for sure, except if they put it into your inkwell, except if they bounce it back to your hand. So you have quite a good chance that he's going to be banished. He doesn't have to be banished by in a challenge. He doesn't have to be banished just from damage. It's any way that he's banished. You get to banish chosen item or location, and it's a May ability. So if you're the only person with an item or location in play, you're going to be safe. You don't have to do it to yourself. He'll be coming soon. Can't let them find this. He's talking about John Silver, but who's he really talking about? And what is that crest on the box? An owl? Billy Bones is up to no good once again. This is Pluto, and he is probably the best upgrade to Steel that we got in this set because he's techable to a lot of stuff. He's a 5/5 bodyguard if he has no damage on it. But if he has any damage on it, it goes to a 1/5 bodyguard, which 5 for a bodyguard is still a whole lot. This character has no damage. He gets +4 strength. Good boy. He's barking. He's going yap, yap, yap. And you can see that same Pluto with the same Mickey. That's the lamp. So like the lamp gets hung up and then Pluto goes bark, bark, bark. Or is Pluto going bark, 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 and then he goes behind Mickey and Mickey picks up the lamp from over here? I don't know. We'll see what Mickey says. Gee, Donald was right. It's spooky out here in the dark. Pluto's big mad about something. We don't know what Pluto's big mad about. This is the Night Watch. He's a hero. Is Pluto a hero? It's an ally. He's not a hero. Cobra Bubbles got almost a playable card this turn. He has a 3/4 bodyguard, but he costs 5. That's quite a bit for a 3/4, but he can quest for 2. That's a good deal. Bodyguards that quest for 2, I like that. Like Nani has 6 willpower and is a 3/6. Nani has more willpower than Cobra. That's what it'd be like. For 2 ink, you draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If you pair this with the Sheriff and not in him, you can do a damage when you do that, and then you just have to pay ink to do it. Don't mind if I do. Not the worst. I say that this is way better than that green Hercules that we got because the character doesn't have to be damaged already. You can just keep paying for ink and discarding cards. I don't know. You can find the card that you want. Maybe it's useful in the blue steel. Like if you're like, oh gosh, I really need a top deck of Tamatoa, then you spend 8 ink to top deck a Tamatoa. That's how it be like. This is Gantu. This is the Gantu redemption arc. Strength in numbers is overrated. I prefer my own strength. He has a strength of 4, but he also quests for 4. 4 is a whole lot of lore. That is 20% of your win con that you need to win the game. Is that right? 5 is 20%? How much is 4? Less than that. No, it's 20%. Yeah, I math. We're good. The 4-3, he's a rare. Gantu redemption arc. And Gantu, you better be careful, bud, because people, they go ahead and they take your binoculars and they put ink around the eye cups, and then when you put it to your eyes, you get ink all over. And how does this work? If his eyes are on the side of his head and he's trying to use binoculars, like does he like use it one side and then what's going on here? You're telling me that his eyes, what? I don't know. Captain Cranky Head. Whoa, that's so good. That's why we read these cards. We never would have saw that. His name's Captain Cranky Head. And he has the captain ability. Not the ability, the attribute. This is Wreck-It Ralph. He's a legendary, and I've been fortunate enough to pull a couple of these myself. Win this character quest. You may banish chosen item or location to gain 2 lore. It can be anybody's item. It can be anybody's location. Wreck-It Ralph, do it to it. He can quest for 3, which is great because that's what you want to be doing with him. You quest for 3, you banish somebody's item or location, you gain another 2 lore. That's 5 lore right there. And then if somebody challenges it into him, they're taking 4 damage back. Pretty good. Not bad. Could be better. Calhoun is a very interesting card because she's a $6 rare. This might be one of the best additions that we got. I said that about Pluto, but I mean it about Calhoun. She has resist 1, so she's almost a 3/3 body, but not really. And then the level up ability is Robin Hood's Champion of Sherwood's ability, but less good. Also very good. During your turn, so it's only during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, gain 2 lore. Gaining 2 lore as early as turn 3 because you play this down on 2, and then boom, you hit him on 3 to gain 2 lore. This thing can take out the enemy scuttles. Lots of people are playing that scuttle to get some items. You know what I'm saying? This can hit the scuttle. Only take 1 damage. No, take no damage back because it's got the resist. It's a good card. You should know about this card. You should fear this card. Captain Amelia has got a enchanted card. And if you didn't know, she's voiced by the person that plays Nanny McPhee. And I love to say that. She's a 1/4 body. Not the best, but she's got some other stuff going for her. She has, this character can't be challenged by Pirates characters. So if there's ever a really good pirate deck, you can just tech this in there and be like, haha, you can't challenge me, buddy. But lots of pirates are playing other ways of removal, like brawls if they pair it with red, or the steel spot damage removal spells like Along Came Zeus, Let the Storm Rage On, or Strength of the Raging Fire. You know them, you love them. Everything ship shape. When this, while being challenged, your other characters gain resist +1. Damage to them is reduced by 1. But sadly, it's not this Amelia. But if you have 2 Captain Amelias and they try to challenge this Amelia, the other Amelia would give it resist +1. It's a good deal. It's super rare for a reason. I don't know. It quests for 2. Is that a little bit too late? I guess it's like a pseudo bodyguard because it gives you resist and stuff. She's all right. This is Jafar, another super rare, the Power Hungry Vizier, the 3/4 stat line. Okay. During your turn, whenever card is put into your inkwell, deal 1 damage to chosen character. Don't mind if I do. This might be a fun thing to put in your blue steals, but probably not because it costs 5, and that's a little bit too little. Too late. Dreamborn, villain, sorcerer. The sorcerer keyword is important now because we have a new action card that lets you draw 2 and you pay 1 less for the amount of sorcerers that you have in play. This Jafar has the half Hexwell Crown. Look at him. He broke in. He got it. We see this in the Bend of My Will action card. No, we don't. We see this in another Jafar card. What do we see it in? We see Jafar. Is it called Seeking the Half Hexwell Crown? So we see it in this. Jafar is going to go and break into this hourglass thing that has the half Hexwell Crown. And this is the one that I was talking about. For each sorcerer in play, you play 1 less. He breaks into it, and now he's got the half Hexwell Crown. Jafar is up to no good, and he's got half of all what he needs. The Broken Crown's power is formidable, but not enough With both halves of the Hexwell crown, I could rule all of Lorcana. Jafar's what's up? Scary, good. John Silver, we played the deck with him a little bit ago. The John Silver Stern Captain, the 6/6, but actually kind of a 6/8 if they're trying to one-shot. The resist +2. Damage to this character is reduced by 2. So if they do Let the Storm Rage On, it does no damage. If they sing Granbeard's Swords, it does no damage. If they challenge this with a character with 3 strength, it does 1 damage. It's a good deal. At the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to each opposing ready character. So if they put a character down like Chernobog's Followers, thinking that they're going to be able to draw or something next turn, boom, this is going to ping a damage to it at the start of your turn. It's too good. We love to see it. It's a huge body. It costs 8, but you could shift it as early as 5, and that's what a cost 5 card should be. This is kind of changing the game. This could change your game. I like it a lot. John Silver as a legendary, that's what's up. The Hot Potato has the deal 2 damage to chosen character, and it can't be taken out of your hand by Ursula Deceiver, which is a nice addition. And it also has the ability to banish chosen item. Would you rather have this, or would you rather have Let the Storm Rage On, if you know what I'm saying? And is that a hidden Mickey right there? It sure is. That's not going to end well, says Pleakley. I'm still here. Song card. That's good old Jim. That's good old John. That's good old Jim as a teenager. I'm still here. Action song. Is this the only song that we got in this whole steel set? It sure is. This is the only song, and it's not the best. It says chosen character gains resist +2 until the start of your next turn and draw a card. So it's kind of good, but are you willing to risk it to draw a card? Like if you sing this with Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, are you willing to bet that they won't be able to do 4 damage to her in one swing and to draw a card? It's just to draw a card and let Cinderella survive. Or if you have a bodyguard, Simba, and then you sing this, and then you get to draw a card. Like the draw the card just replaces itself, and then the resist just lets you be able to sing it and not be taken out next turn. I think this card just replaces itself. Like it's not, I don't know, maybe it is for challenging stuff, like you want to be able to have resist and then challenge into stuff. I'm not seeing the wombo combos. The 3 is good because you can double sing it with Ursula, and you can do other stuff. You can sing with your Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. Twin Fire, the 2-cost action card, and you need to pay close attention because I didn't, and I cheated when I played this card because I didn't discard a card to deal another 2 damage. It says deal 2 damage to chosen character. Then you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to another chosen character. You gotta discard a card to do the other half. So you can do 4 damage for only 2 ink. That's a good deal. I got them. No, I got them. That's 2 Lost Boys doing their thing. The Ambush card has the Smee as the captain of the Jolly Roger right there. Does he have Mullins? It doesn't look like it. That looks like Starkey. Is this Mullins? Not a chance. It looks like they are going to attack some Lost Boys. You exert one of your characters, deal damage equal to their strength to chosen character. Interesting. So if you exert John Silver, you could do 6 damage to another chosen character. It could be a Dragonfire as early as turn. It could be a Dragonfire for cost 3, but you would have to also exert one of your characters. So maybe it's not the best thing. The Unfortunate Situation is pretty good. It does 4 damage for 4 ink. Makes sense. Each opponent chooses one of their characters and deals 4 damage to them. Is it just as good as a Medusa? Not a chance, but it's still pretty good. It can get rid of cards, and your opponent has to choose, so it gets around Ward, the King Sensor Core. Your Prince and King characters gain resist +1, don't mind if I do, and then it has the exert, pay 2 ink, reveal the top card of your deck if it is a Prince or King character card. You may put that card in your hand, otherwise put it on top of your deck. So it doesn't like take the card and put it at the bottom of your deck, which might be more favorable, especially if you have 2 of these in play. But if you have 2 of these in play, all your King and Prince characters are going to get resist +1, and that could work really well with cards like the legendary Arthur and Simba and other stuff like that. This works pretty well with the Steel Simbas. I like this. We might have to give that a go. The training dummy item for 2 ink, you pay it down, then you can exert it and pay another 2 ink. Chosen character gains bodyguard until the start of your next turn. Is it worth it? Maybe, but Vitalosphere does it for way cheaper, but this is permanent. This is a permanent Vitalosphere. not Vitalosphere, Fortisphere sunglasses for ink. You exert it, draw a card, then choose and discard a card. The coolest accessories for top agents are sunglasses. Once in the reflection, it says sunglasses, dude. I don't know. Doesn't look like anything to me. Do you see something? Do you see something over there? I don't. I don't think there's anything in the reflection of the sunglasses. Treasure Mountain. We got 2 locations in this steel colorway. Treasure Mountain, at the start of your turn, deal damage to chosen characters or location equal to the number of characters here. So if you have 10 characters heal, you can do 10 damage to chosen character. It's just 1 character though. But if you have 2 Treasure Mountains in play, oh yeah, but it's only for the cards at each specific Treasure Mountain. The Galactic Council Chamber Courtroom 1/7, cost 3. You have an alien or robot character here. This location can't be challenged. Why would that be important? Because you want to gain 1 lore at a time? Or so John Silver, who is an alien, the one from the Inklands, could have permanent resist and stuff? I don't know. Maybe it's cool. Is it cool? Let me know in the comments section. And then our 3 enchanters were Wreck-It Ralph, Captain Amelia, and the Treasure Mountain Azurite Sea Island. Thanks for watching. We put out new videos every day. We'll see you in the next one.